Okay, welcome. We're gonna talk today about 5 tips that you can do if you're wild camping, if you're through hiking. These are, in our opinion, some things that are really important. It's things that we have encountered, grievances that we've encountered, and we've sort of talked about and we've tried to address. This video will primarily be for areas in the world where it's sort of frowned upon to wild camp. That's sort of where we find ourselves right now in the UK. It's technically illegal to wild camp in the UK, but we have tried just because we think the benefits of wild camping are just endless, and there's just so many good things about it. But rule number 5, which we'll get to, is really important for if you're camping in these kinds of areas. Let's start with rule number 1. Avoid busy areas and find a remote spot. So this is sort of like, don't camp right next to the trail. If you can, be proactive before you go out about your trail choice. Do some research. Is the trail that you're doing really popular? Is it near major towns and cities? These are not good areas. These are not good choices to make when you're wild camping. And it's more challenging depending on the country that you live in. In the UK, there's so many trails near very populated areas. Like, it's hard to get a really remote spot, I feel. So that definitely goes into our thinking before we pick a place to hike. You know, where are we going to be remote? We live in Manchester, which is like a huge city, but we have the Peak District right next to us, and it's just convenient to go to the Peak District, but because it's next to Manchester, and then you've got like Sheffield on the other side, it tends to be a pretty popular area for hikers. So trying to find a place to wild camp in the Peak District is quite difficult. But
we did manage to one night in Mamtor when we went up near Mamtor, though.
Yeah, the video that we just released, Edale 1 and 2, you can see that we did manage to find a wild camping spot. Number 2. This one is very important. Use satellite images to plan ahead. So you want to go on your maps. So you want to use Google Maps for this. You want to use apps like All Trails, and you want to use an option to change the map type to satellite or terrain. So once you have your trail in mind that you want to do, you're going to go on to the maps and you're going to sort of plan whereabouts are you going to be at the end of your first day, where do you want to camp. You want to zoom into that on the map. You want to change the map type to satellite or terrain. You want to have a look for forested areas that, like I said, you'll see at the end of your hiking day. And the only thing with this one, you have to be aware of the topography, as you'll want to be in something more flat. You want to be in a flat forest. You want to look for those cliff areas, and you want to try to avoid the forests that are on cliff areas.
Rule number 3. Is to just be discreet. So have respect for the environment around you and anyone else who might be in the area. So especially careful building a fire if you're trying not to be seen, because we recommend that you might even just avoid this in the UK, because we've had some negative feedback from some locals when we have found a nice place to camp, set up a fire, because we only had food with us that you needed to boil water for, you needed hot water. So that was the motivation for us building the fire. And we got a negative backlash from somebody walking their dog because of it. However, we were being safe. It wasn't a dry forest, it was very wet. In fact, it was raining while we were trying to do it, so we weren't being dangerous, and we also know how to deal with fires, so we're not being reckless in what we did. However, it would have been easier and safer if we had avoided it. And also, in the whole rule of being discreet as well, is to be mindful of your volume when you wild camp. So make sure that if you have music, you're not playing it really loud, you're not disturbing other animals, nature or wildlife, or other people who are in the area, who live there or who are wild camping as well. It's just nice to be respectful of that, and when to be in nature, just don't be loud, don't be reckless.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, even if you're not wild camping, if you're camping,
yeah, that's a good point. If you're wild camping, or not wild camping,
if you're camping in a campsite,
site,
which is what we recently were doing a lot of, be quiet.
Yeah.
It's just respectful to other people. It's just like a general rule that you should follow.
Yeah.
And
don't pitch your tent right next to somebody else's. That's
yeah.
another one.
If
there's
you
space.
can avoid it.
Okay, rule number
4.
Okay. So this one is because we live in the UK, and that is always plan for rain. Regardless of what the forecast says, if you've had a look on the Met Office or Google Weather or whatever you use, and it says, it's going to be sunny all day, don't trust it. If you live in the UK, just make sure that you've got a rain cover for your bags, for your tent, especially because there's one thing that can ruin any kind of camp, whether it's wild camping or camping on a site, is waking up soaking wet in the middle of the night.
I mean, this one seems obvious because everyone has a rain cover for their tent. But we were thinking too, if you're in sort of a warm climate, because we just did the Camino in Spain and Portugal, you can get away with not having certain things for rain. Like we didn't bring rain jackets or ponchos or anything like that. We just brought fast drying equipment with us. So everything that we were wearing, if it got wet, had the ability to dry quickly.
Which did happen.
Yeah, which did happen. Yeah,
stuck in some showers a couple of days, and we got drenched, but we dried really fast.
Yeah, so we tested this one out.
Yeah.
And it did work because we were in a warm climate. But if you're in a colder climate, we do recommend always bring the rain gear.
Yeah, if you have a rain cover, like I said, for your bag, a lightweight rain jacket or a poncho, it doesn't add much extra weight to your bag, and it will really save you if you get caught in something, and really make your trip more pleasant.
Yeah. Again, seems like an obvious one, but don't mess around. Don't mess around with the rain, especially if you're in England.
Yeah, not UK rain.
That brings us to our last rule. Rule number 5. And probably the most important one is leave no trace. And this is for every camping situation that you can get yourself into. Just leave no trace. Even if you're not camping. Just leave no trace, right?
If you're just hiking for the day.
Yeah, just hiking. This is standard camping and hiking etiquette. Just whatever you pack in, make sure you pack out. It's frustrating seeing, for us anyway, seeing like rubbish or like toilet roll at a site, or just in the middle of where you don't expect it. It's just like someone obviously camped there and they left things behind.
Yeah, we've seen cans for beans, and when we were hiking through the West Highland Way, people who had camped there the night before had left their rubbish from what they had for dinner. Yeah, beer cans, Scotland, that was an obvious one as well.
Yeah, just goes back to the few can ruin it for the all. And I feel like this is maybe sort of why certain countries have these regulations around wild camping. It's got to be a huge component of it, because a lot of people just go out, leave their rubbish, leave a mess behind, and then they just ruin it for everyone else that want to wild camp, and then people have to clean it up. So then they just have this rule of no one gets to wild camp. So if you're going out, this is the most important rule. Pack whatever you bring out, pack it back with you.
Also the wildlife. Take care of the wildlife.
Yeah, the turtles and, well, not in the forest. The turtles in the
forest. The forest turtles.
Yeah. Birds, maybe.
Rare breed now.
Birds in the forest, I think. All right. Thanks for watching our top 5 tips for wild camping. These are just things that, like we said, we've come across in our experiences, and they're just really important for you, for any kind of camping, really, especially camping in the UK, where you have to be a little bit more discreet, but it also applies to other places or camping is more acceptable as well.
So leave any extra ones that you think that we missed out that are super important in the comments below, because we'd love to hear what you have for your rules for camping.
And we can also make another video if we left like an important one out, for sure.
Yeah, we'll add it on.
But yeah, let us know what you think. If you like the video, like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And we'll see you next time.